Batman thinks it's time for a penny cent hunt. I think he's right. Let's go right to it and get moving. Hi, this is Silver Chupacabra, and it is time for another penny cent coin hunt, and we've got some boxes to do that with. Looking for some catalog fillers. The collection, at least this 1909 and 1940 set, is getting more filled every time out, which is pretty cool. I have no aversion to any Indian head cents as well, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other penny collection piece. 1941 to 1974, I believe it is. Not too many holes left here. As you can see, don't get a lot of fillies here. I would think by now 57, 58 would be filled, but living in the Denver metro area, we just don't get a whole lot of fillies here at times. Steel cents, of course, are going to be very problematic. It would be very lucky to actually get one, but hope springs eternal. We got 40, so 41s and 42s there. That's pretty high mintages there. I'm surprised they do not have those by now. This could be the day. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the box itself. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the box, or at least this first box that we're going to be looking at today. You can definitely see some newer ones in there, but I actually think I'm looking at a few coppers in here as well. Got some shields over here on the left, as you can see, but it's kind of a mix mash. No wheat backs on any of the enders, as we can see. It's all right. They're all going to be inside the rolls, aren't they? Let's go right to it and start finding some cool stuff. First roll of this box. Don't quite have a find yet, but I do like good luck pieces like this. Already, even though this is not a wheatback, it's a first year memorial. 1959 out of Denver. I think that's a good omen on the rest of this box. There I am, crossing my fingers. Giving a thumbs up. Okay, roll 4 of this box. Just laid out the roll and take a look. Got a 1989 penny cent out of Canada. Nice. Getting a lot of Canadian cents of late. I still have a little bit to look at. We'll bring you back in if something else comes out. Okay, roll 12 of this first penny box of our hunt. Yeah, it's taking 12 rolls to get in there. But I believe we've got 2 Wheaties here, actually. This one, actually, I did not notice beforehand. But that's straight out of there, 1953 Denver. Yep, that would be a Wheatie, all right. The other one had its wheat back sticking right out there. Thought it looked like it had a little bit of wear, but not totally. I'm thinking 40s here, but that could be completely off base. A ton of detail there. There's detail, but there isn't. Could be 50s as well. Cool. It is 40s, by the way, and it is a 44 San Francisco minted. Awesome. It's always cool to have San Francisco come in. To roll 22 of this first penny box hunt. And we got a wheat back there sitting in front of us. This will be the third one of this hunt so far. Let's see what this looks like a little bit. 40s or 50s, I would think. It will be 49 Denver. Nice. It's the second 40s of this hunt. Roll 28 of this penny box hunt. This first penny box that we're looking at here. Came across this as an ender. Now you can see what it looks like from here, but when you're looking with the eyeballs, you just think you're looking at a dirty penny. So I actually did this, to be honest. I did that, and I went, whoop, and I went, oh, hey. I wasn't expecting that. This penny has seen a lot. A lot of wear, a lot of environmental damage, I would say. I've actually taken under a scope. The scope makes it worse. So I've decided not to use a scope for this. Now, if I lean over to the right, that is almost clearly 1919. And by the way, that mint mark, there is a mint mark underneath it, and it is an S. I'm not sure if that'll help you see it any more than that. Probably not. If I go over to the left like this, that looks more like a 5. The mint mark, I don't think has really helped by doing this. But it looks like a 5 that's got a big tail on it. I think it's a 1919S. Just a lot of damage, environmental damage and whatnot, that's eating away at Lincoln's eye and Lincoln's nose. Poor Lincoln. Okay, roll 32 of the box hunt. And I think we've got our 5th Wheatie here, which is pretty cool. All the way down the ladder there, and there it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back here first. Yeah, it's got pretty decent detail. I always look at the top of the shocks here. It's kind of weird, at least the outsides, I guess, the perimeter of the shocks. That's where it wears first. I'm still thinking 40s on here. But the front of the portrait, how detailed the portrait is, usually tells the story. Let's go ahead and take a look. 1953, Philadelphia. Cool. No mark. We did have a 53D earlier, I believe. Let's see. Sure enough. Cool. Got one more for on to roll 38 and another ender. Not being very, let's just say, alert with the enders. And these were bottom enders, by the way, so, we didn't see these on the top. 1953D, we already actually have one, but I don't care. 6 Wheatie find of this box. This one's in actually very good condition. Lots of good detail there. On to roll 44. As you can see, I got 6 rolls left. And going down, I just laid this out and just noticed something peeking out here. Well, right there. That is definitely a wheatback. It says 1. That's the only way that could really be when it's on top of the reverse like that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I thought the 1919S was probably the most worn coin I've ever seen. Take a look at that one. Wow. The surface looks like it's been hit by many meteorites. Let's go ahead and turn it over and see what we got there. Oh my gosh, take a look at the rim. That is funny. Just as pockmarked as the back, by the way. Let's go ahead and run through it. There's a 1 and a 9. It's got to be at least 20s or teens, right? It looks like a 1. No, I take that back. I think that's a 2. There's a 4. I don't believe that's a mint mark underneath. It's got a big pock mark there. It's something we could check in the scope, and I probably will. I'll bring that up after this, but anyway, let's bring the other one over here. Maybe you guys should have a fight or something. I don't know. Have a conversation. You two must have been through some really interesting travels. Here's an up close shot of the wheatback that I just found that's just heavily corroded. I do believe that definitely to be a 1924. Now, whether that's the part of a mint mark, like a D, and yes, I do know that a 24D is a semi-key date, it's hard to tell. Now, okay, on to roll 50. As you can see, there are no rolls left. Just laid this down. I believe we've got a Canadian visitor upon us. You can see the 12-sidedness of that coin. There's Miss Elizabeth. Lots of dirt and whatnot on this one. I am actually going to turn this correctly, side by side. Oh, that felt so good. 1983. I don't think I'm bringing that other one in there to see if it was the same. No, that was 89. Cool. 89, 83. Don't know if I have or not. We'll check that at the end of our hunt. Okay, so that is the end of this first box of our penny/cent hunt. 7 wheatback finds, which is a little bit below average, but it got made up by a 1919S and a 1924 Philly. Not that they're in the greatest of conditions. Not even close. Much better. We're going to grab another coin box and take a look at it. Okay, so here is the second box for this hunt. Just kind of looking around. Definitely see some copper in there. You also got some of these zinc ones as well, of course. Not like these are changing anything, to be honest. Let's see a wheatback or something to that effect. Oh, take a look at that. That looks like a 5. Yeah, it is 195. This could be a wheatback right here. Can we see that? That looks like a 7. Wow. 1957 minute in Denver. That will be number 21 there. So we got at least one wheatback out of this box. I do not see anything else that's showing that 5, at least. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and get to it. On to roll 2 of this second penny box. And we've got a couple of interesting ones. I didn't even think much of this. I didn't even see a date till I turned it over, and it's like, oh, hey, that's a wheatback. So obviously this is going to be a Wheatie. Let's see if we can get a date out of that. It looks like 1940, 1945. I'll probably have to take a look at that under this scope. On to roll 3 of this second penny box, and so far I'm pretty stoked at this box. Well, it kind of looks like it might have something wrong with it. But I do know that that one definitely has something going with it. And this one's got a little bit of wear on the bead stocks there as well. Always a pretty good sign that this could have some age to it. Maybe the 30s. Let's go ahead and turn her over. Portrait can tell you a little bit too. Nice ding on the bottom. It's got some decent wear there too. I'm going to stick with 30s here. Could be wrong. Could be 40s. I don't think 50s, but would not be the first time I've been wrong. Whoa, it's going to be the 20s. No mint mark. Oh, let that last one be a 2. Let it be a 2. Let it be a 2. It's a 20. It would be that one. The reason why I say that, I've found a lot of 1920s. But, cool. I love the old fine. And that's actually, for 1920, pretty darn good shape. This is still roll 3, and that penny that I kind of pointed out is a Wheatie. And look at that. It's our good old friend 1944. The thing is, it's got a little bit of wear there too. I think it's about as much wear as the 1920 did. It's almost like a day without sunshine if I don't find this in a penny box on it. You're on roll 6, and this box continues to be pretty hot. I'm hoping that it does not change its course. Got a couple of pieces to look at. That looks familiar. You've got a Canadian in the midst. I'm thinking that's a little bit of an older portrait. Kind of hard to tell there. Oops. There we go. Hey. 1980. That is the oldest one we found so far. Put that up there with the other Canadians. And then, look at that. It's pretty detailed. Which is alright. Most probably going to be 50s. But let's take a look. You never know. Ain't nothing wrong with 50s, by the way. Oh, it's going to be 40s. Wow. Another 44S. That's in really decent condition, too. That should be an updater. So that is the second 44S. You'd have a 44 Philly, which is my most commonly found one. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That is the 11th find of this box. That's 4 Wheaties already, and we don't even finish for the first row of 10. I hope this continues to be this hot. Okay, on to roll 18. It's definitely been a bit dry in the last 10 or so rolls. It's a great start. Yeah, that's going to happen. Looks like we have got another Canadian. As you see the beads going around the perimeter there, that's always a good sign that wheel will be a Canadian. I'm thinking kind of in that same area of the 80s again. Turning it correctly. I would take that back. Wow, a little older. 1970. Awesome. You're on roll 20, and we finally got another wheat find after a bit of a dry spell. It is a 1955D, minted in Denver, obviously. There it is. And yes, of course, it has the wheat on the back. Cool. Okay, roll 21. If you remember, we had an ender that we already knew was a wheat back. I believe it was 57D, but we will recheck it. It definitely is. Cool find, but it's got a friend. So I was looking through the magnifying glass going down there. That one definitely popped out. It's a year younger than the last one, 56, and also minted in Denver. Cool. I believe that is now 14 finds. 7 for this box. We had 7 for the first box. Still on roll 21, and we've got a third wheat back on this roll. Definitely has been the roll of giving. Don't care for 50s, by the way. Still pretty darn cool. That would be a 51, also minted in Denver. This is the end of roll 21, by the way. Roll 22 is next. We are at roll 23, about halfway through the second box. And we got another Canadian visitor. Whoops. Kind of knocked out with my hand. 78. Nice. Looks like it's in pretty decent shape. You got to be honest, I've never really seen an Elizabeth that was in anything less than fine shape anyway. You're on to roll 32. You're about midway to this, maybe the start, closer to the start probably. This one popped out of nowhere. I didn't even really notice it. Must be the theme of these two boxes. Really stained, toned. It is a 34 from Philly. I think I found a 34 from Philly last penny box. I love the tone on that, by the way. As you can see, it's a bit of a snowy day here in the Denver metro area. We are on roll 41. And the past 15 or so rolls have been pretty slow. I believe that 1934 Wheatback was the last one we found. Of course, I wouldn't be bringing you in on this bus ride or stopping the bus unless I had something. Let's see if you can spot it before I stop the camera. Oh, wait a minute. Take a look right there. Look at that. It jumped out at me real quick when I went through with the magnifying glass. That is a 38, and not only in 1938, it's got a mint mark on it. 1938, minted in Denver. Not a key or semi-key date, but anytime you can find a penny in the 30s, the 20s, the teens, the 1900s, 1909 would be the only one there. You're doing yourself a service. In other words, that's going to be something that probably is going to fill a hole. And I was going to say that 8 looks like a B. That's a pretty good detail. Even the bow tie there is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back. Get a bit of a ding here on the bottom of the right hand wheat shock. But other than that, the wheat shocks really aren't worn. What a cool find. On to roll 47. We got 3 rolls left at the back end of this roll. We have got, I forgot where it was here for a second. 1952, minted in Denver. A little bit discolored, but still in pretty good shape. Anyway, going on to roll 48. Got 1 roll left, so that means this is roll 49. This one I almost missed because it just doesn't even look like a wheat back color-wise and whatnot. Yes, it's got a lot of whatever you want to call it, junk candy, I don't know. Pretty gunky, but it is a 53 out of Denver. So, see the empty box, and that usually means that is the end of, well, at least that box, but it is the end of the hunt in this case. And it was a very good hunt. I'm very pleased with the finds that came out of this one. Let's go ahead and just going to summarize. We'll look through it. I will go ahead and go through and look for some varieties, and then we'll see if we filled up anything in the catalog books, which would be pretty cool, collection books. Let's start here. The infamous 1944 out of Philadelphia. I swear I find one in every one of these hunts. 2 1944s minted in San Francisco, which I find to be very cool. I think at least one of those might be an upgrader. Very hard to read 1945 minted in Denver. 1949 minted in Denver. 1951 minted in Denver. 52 in Denver. 53 is in Denver. Did get 1 Philadelphia there. 55 in Denver. 56 in Denver. 57 minted in Denver as well. As usual, Makes sense. You live in the metro area of Denver, you're probably going to get a lot of Denver coins. I just don't understand why that 1914 D hasn't popped up yet. So here are the quality coins for this hunt. So I've got 5 Wheaties here that just are outstanding. And yes, very worn. Got a 1919 out of Denver. We're going to say that it's a 19 and not a 15. We've got another 1920. I think I found like about 4 or 5 of those throughout all my hunts. There is a 24, very beat up. No mint mark, we're going to say on that one. So Philadelphia for that. Second box, which by the way also brought us to 1920, brought us the 1934. Very, very red scent there. Not the red they're talking about. And then a very, very cool find. It's interesting how that 8 just, it almost looks like it's counterfeit. I mean, I don't understand why the 8 is that size, but very cool that it has a mint mark. I'll tell you right now, that's going in the collection book. There is no way I've found a 38 Denver. Watch, it'll happen. Let's go ahead. We've found 5 Canadians as well. We're all kind of in a similar area there, meaning year-wise. 1970, 78, 80, 83, and 89. And we've got a collection book for that, so we'll look for whatever fits. Okay, let me go ahead and check all these for varieties, including any of those, and then we'll pull the collection books out. So here are the collection books. Did not have any varieties, so I'll get that over with now. This is the 1909 to 1940 penny collection book, and we have 3 fillers. I mean, we have a lot of spots, but it's still awesome to get 3 fillers in there. 1919 San Francisco. 1924. This also came from that first box of the hunt. And that 1930 AD, I told you, that will definitely be a catalog filler. Well, that one wants to fight me. I'll get that in there a little bit better later. So, 3 fillers in that early primary book. Now we're on to the secondary. We've got an update here in the 1920. I think we do have one on this side. I think it's 34. Yep, right there. Very red. For the secondary from 1941 to 1974, I think that 49D was an updater. Yep, right there. Canadian prospects. I had 2 updates in the other book. That book goes to 88. And then the younger one, the 89, is the one I actually get to fill here. There's over 1 billion of these. I should be able to find some of these. Anyway, cool beans on that. Got to do a little bit of action on the Canadian books. Well, that is the end of this hunt. I do appreciate anybody who stayed with it, even just looked at bits and parts of it. That's fine with me. Hope you got a little bit out of it, maybe even learned a little bit out of it. I really enjoyed this hunt. This is the best penny hunt of the year so far, so I hope that continues on. And I think next we go back into nickels. I'm still thinking about doing some quarters. I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. But anyway, whenever you're watching this, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.